Hi, I'm Jennifer Aguzzi, and I'm the Program Coordinator for World Language at Daniel Hand High School. I'm also the NIAS Co-Accreditation Chair, and I led a group of teachers, K-12, to write breakout rubrics that correspond to our profile of graduate capacities. We have been doing curriculum revisions for 10 or 11 years, and we had breakout rubrics with our original set of capacities. When we refined the capacities, we no longer had rubrics that corresponded. In order to make sure that our assessments aligned to our profile of a graduate, we needed to have breakout rubrics. Most importantly, because we really embraced the concept of backwards design as a district, and we needed to have a common understanding of what do we mean when we talk about analyzing, about citizenship, about decision making. We had to have common language and a common understanding of what that looked like. So obviously it's very difficult to have one line in a rubric that is relatable to a kindergartner and an 18-year-old at the same time. I gathered a team of people who represented different levels of instruction. We made sure that we had elementary, middle, and high school people, but also a variety of departments. And we looked for people who had actually spent time at multiple levels, right? We had a math coach who was kindergarten through 8th grade. We had a literacy coach who was working 6th through 12th grade, but who also had been a 4th grade teacher in our district, a social studies coordinator for K-8 who had also been a high school teacher for a number of years. And so they could really relate to that progression of the capacity development K to 12. So the rubrics that we developed, these breakout rubrics, are really teacher-facing documents. Once you get to the high school level, they can very nearly be student-facing. If you look at the rubrics that we created, if you look, for example, at citizenship, it has this big bracket in it, and it says, my response acknowledged the impact of decisions on present and future generations and sought shared gains within my bracket, self/family/school/town/state/nation/planetary communities. Those brackets that we included are not just a suggestion to personalize the rubric, but a necessity. We need to have a common understanding of what we're aiming for. What does our vision of a graduate mean, right? Which in this district is profile of a graduate, but also it has to be brought down to the student level for each individual assessment. So if you look at decision making in 1st grade, we had them doing an assessment where they're making a rule, and they're hitting the highest level of that rubric if they can explain their rule for multiple reasons, right? If you look at the same capacity in grade 7 science, it's considering the human impact of eutrophication, right? That language changes in the student-facing documents to meet the discipline and the assignment. I think that one of the most important things to understand as you begin this process is that you won't get it right the first time around. It has to be a living document. In the second revision of it, one of the things that we had really realized as a district is that we needed a space for empathy and social emotional learning, and we made a purposeful, move to include those in this next version. And who knows what our next version will include, but you have to be willing to revisit them to meet the changing requirements of education as well as the needs of the students.